Guess who's back? Back again. Mikey's back.
Tell a friend.
Hey, everybody, here we are with episode number 80 of the Brick Chat, and it is also our 15th anniversary on YouTube celebration. But before I go any further, let me just say, if you like this video, any videos on the channel, please
like, comment, and subscribe.
And let's get into this 15-year celebration after the intro coming in
now.
All right, everybody, it's been 15 years, and we're going to go on a little bit of a journey through all 15 years, and I'm going to give you a little behind-the-scenes peek and look and everything that's gone on. But before we do that, we're going to start by introducing our newest member of the team. Come on in.
It is the Winged Eagle title.
Oh.
Look at that. He is the new Winged Eagle WWE champion.
So right here is battling for it.
I'm going to be battling for it.
Yeah, and that's everything. I'm gonna leave him off. I'm gonna leave it off to my dad here.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Well, that is his little part in the celebration today. And now it's time for me. And I have notes here. I actually wrote out some form of a script because I usually don't do that. In all these 15 years, I've done a lot of it just on the fly, one shot in my head. Better at the improvising aspect of YouTube over that time, to the point now where I wouldn't say that I'm writing a script for all of my videos per se, but I know basically what I want to say in every little section. So it's almost like it's a script, if you will. Try to keep it as on point and precise as possible. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is, why do I even do all this? Because that's a big question that I think needs answering. If you or anybody else is ever thinking about, well, I want to start a YouTube channel or something like that. And for me, it's literally because I like creating things, and music is another major obsession, if you will, of mine. And I've done a lot of creating on that as well. And you've seen some of that on the channel. It's actually the theme song that you hear in every video. I wrote that. And
played it.
And played it, yes.
And produced it.
The whole 9 yards. So, but it didn't start with the music, creating music. It actually started with creating videos. And what I did, and this is in the old VCR days, we're going back to the 90s here. The two VCRs, and I would hook them up, and I could play on one, have something playing, and then on the second VCR I could have new audio going into it, and so I could overdub my own audio over existing footage. And that's really the first videos I ever made, and that's when I was in high school back in the 90s, and it was of NBA footage. I made my own NBA highlight reels, and I put like "We Will Rock You" by Queen and stuff, and it'd have or "We Are the Champions," and have a bunch of champion celebrations going on. So that was really the first taste of content creation that I got. And then after that, I went into music for a long period of time. Then came 2010, and what's interesting about 2010 was the creation of this YouTube channel, and it actually coincides with another anniversary at the same time, and that is the day we met and our wedding anniversary. So
it all happened all at the same time.
It all happened,
not the wedding, but the day we met and the YouTube, starting YouTube.
What's crazy about it all, is that it all happened in June of 2010.
And you had it. Did you set it up like right after we met or the day we met?
It was right around that time.
Right around
I
the
don't
same
know.
time.
I mean, I don't know when the exact date of the creation of the YouTube channel was.
Oh, it doesn't give you that. You don't
Well, I
have
mean,
a
I may
stat?
be able to find out the
Oh.
exact date. I don't
You
know.
would think that you would know that.
But I just
You know
know
it's 15 years.
I know that it started. The whole reason I created the YouTube channel was to upload, because this was the first like piece of content I created after all the basketball stuff I was talking about, and that was
Well, because you didn't put that online.
no, that never.
There
That wasn't pre. I mean, internet existed, but YouTube didn't exist
No.
then.
Okay.
But that was the first thing I put on YouTube was Ghostbusters, the video game, which I edited into my own version of Ghostbusters 3, because at that time it didn't seem like Ghostbusters 3 was ever a real possibility, and that this video game was the closest we were ever going to get to an actual movie. And that's what you're going to see over the course of this stream and me talking is there's a lot of different interests that I have, and it never really was any one of them could have ended up being the main focus of Mikey J Productions, and it just so happened that things worked out the way they did, that you guys picked.
This is, yeah.
So I mean, but that's why we haven't even discussed anything Lego related yet, because that's what I'm saying. We don't even get to the Lego stuff until a little bit after.
Right.
At the time, and I don't know if they still do or not, but YouTube wouldn't let you upload a video more than 15 minutes if you were like a brand new channel. And so I had to chop the Ghostbusters video game one up into a bunch of 15-minute videos to put it all on there. So I don't know how many parts there were, like 10 parts or something. But all 10 of them got well into the thousands views, and some of them 15 to 20,000. And so for right out of the bat on YouTube, that was pretty cool. But it was a different time then.
It wasn't so congested.
Yeah, that was another thing is
So
that
new.
I've seen a lot of these through it all as well. And then after that, I did a couple little videos, because the reason I named it Mikey J Productions is I was just gonna put out these just silly little movie kind of things, like Ghostbusters the video game was like my first like movie, and then after that I got into there was an actual game called the Movies.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was a fun game, and I used it to create my own like Friday the 13th like movies and stuff like that. And I'll put a couple of clips in here so you'll see what I'm talking about. And I even started mixing it with other games and created a Godzilla one. And this was even before our son was born, and he's a crazy Godzilla fan.
Which fans of the channel should already know.
Yeah. There was no rhyme or reason. I was just throwing things at the wall, and whatever stuck. But the next thing was Guns N' Roses, as a matter of fact. I started making my own fan music videos for some of the songs that never got official music videos. And I even did a whole Chinese Democracy, the movie, which I am re-releasing on my second channel, MJP, as members only content over there for people that are Guns N' Roses fans. That some of those did really, really well. One in particular was Sympathy for the Devil, a song of theirs from the Interview with the Vampire soundtrack. And that music video went viral for me, and still to this day is far and away the biggest video I've ever done. It ended up getting deleted by Guns N' Roses, as a matter of fact. But before it got deleted, it was well over 2 million views. Again, there was no rhyme or reason focus to the channel, so I did that stuff for a while. And then we move on to the Lego stuff. Well, the Lego stuff was, I would say, a little bit deliberate. And that at that time, I was watching the Brick Show quite a bit. I liked what they were doing. I think Jang Bricks was just getting started. Brick Czar, I watched him a bit. even Brick Queen, I watched a bit of her as well. And I saw what they were doing, and as I've said all along, I like making content. It doesn't always matter what type of content it is, just the act of making it itself. And so I wanted to, dip my toe into the Lego space, and it's been the thing that's kind of engulfed the channel ever since.
Well, there was a break there.
Well, we'll get to the break.
Oh, okay.
But
I didn't know. I'm like, because there was a break in there. You did.
But even over the success of the Guns N' Roses content, because the channel could have very well just become a Guns N' Roses channel at that point, because they, a video with 2 million views on it.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
But that just showed when I started doing Lego content, even in the beginning, like it was doing rather well, and I picked up some good fans in that early days, and some of them are still with the channel to this day. And I did a lot of pirate ship stuff. The pirate ship videos really are the core foundation of the channel, and so that's why Lego Pirates, even because I'm a fan of Lego Pirates since I was a kid, but it'll always be near and dear to my heart, because even as an adult with the channel, that's really the thing that really helped move us into the Lego space, was the pirate ships. But I also did some stop motion stuff, and even though I am not great at stop motion by any stretch of the imagination,
You dipped your toe in it.
I dipped my toe in it, and and those videos did rather well as well. And I was able to do reviews at that time. And what was fun about these days of YouTube, and we're talking the Lego teens here, or the 2000 teens here, it was almost like the Wild West. And that, because this is before LAN.
Yes.
And so if you wanted to get the views on a particular video, or if you wanted to corner the market on it, and you could do it. You had to go get the set ASAP, build it, get a review up, and your review would be the video. Like you could make it happen, and LAN has ruined that.
Yeah.
But we'll get into LAN a little bit later on. And so things were going really well for the channel up until all of that point. And still to this day, I would say that was probably the most successful era of the Mikey J Productions channel. Was, I don't know, we'll say 2015 to about 2018. Those 3 years really had a lot of videos that still to this day get a lot of views and traction, to the point that even though I look at them and I'm like, oh, shake my head. I wish people wouldn't watch that one. I've redone it and it's been so much better. But they like that old one.
Stop watching
They
it.
like the old one. It still gets views. So there you go. But what happened in the Lego community was COPPA happened. Well, it wasn't just a Lego community, but it was YouTube as a whole. Yep. And if you don't know what that means, it's the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So it's the government and laws and rules and stuff. So, I mean,
safety for children.
And it means business, it's not something to be taken lightly.
No.
And the Lego community freaked out about it, afraid of how it was going to impact Lego content creators. And I've always looked up to, certain ones, that I mentioned before. Alex Nunes would be another one that I've watched for, a long time. But I really paid attention to what Jang said during that time, and I tried to follow his way, but do it my own way at the same time, but follow his lead. But so Jang was kind of operating under the idea that he was going to rebrand all of his content to be for kids, and I wasn't willing to go that far. I just decided at that time that I needed to be careful with making Lego content. And so I decided to branch out and try other things again because, like I said, just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And so I was like, well, maybe we've come to the end of the Lego road. But I was still keeping my eye on the community and see what would happen from afar. And I did release a few things here or there just to kind of test the waters and see what would happen. And as many of you'll know, because Jang's talked about on his channel many, many times, that really, he feels, killed his entire Lego momentum. And I do feel it did for me as well, to the point that if that hadn't happened and I didn't feel like I needed to walk away from it for a while, I probably, the channel would be a lot bigger now today than it is. And so that's a little unfortunate, but you live and learn. But so then I switched up and went into the home arcade community because I'm a gamer, and I like to play arcade games and all that kind of stuff. And there was this new company called Arcade 1UP that came on the scene, and they make these, they're called 3/4 scale arcade cabinets for your house, and they were relatively inexpensive, especially when they started. And so you could start building your own little semi arcade in your house. And so that was a fun thing to get into, and so I got into that. And it also got me into modding, those kind of things. So I started putting my own joysticks in, and those videos I put on the channel, they started doing really well as well, to the point that I was like, oh, well, maybe I need to, go down this road more.
Switch topics.
Yeah. But then also during this time, because we'll see certain topics keep rearing their head back up. You think that, that chapter's closed, and then no, here we come again.
It's coming back.
And it was Ghostbusters. There was a movie coming out, so they actually were doing Ghostbusters 3 essentially, and so it got me excited after all these years. And so I did these couple of just the mythology videos, one on Gozer. I did one on the Terror Dogs, one on some ghosts, and I hoped that they would do well, but they've done so much better than I ever anticipated them doing, that still, like, to this day, if I haven't put out anything for a little bit of while, YouTube's analytics will tell me, what videos are getting the most views, but that Gozer video will pop up into my top 3 every now and again. It's still going. That's why we're talking about it today. They're out there somewhere in the realm of my channel videos. There's a section of Ghostbuster fans that have loved some of the things I've done over the years. But I also we did our own proton packs and our own suits, and we still go out on Halloween dressed as Ghostbusters, at least her and I. Sometimes we can get the kids into, but Georgie's been doing WWE stuff last year, so he'll probably be going down that road again. And now that brings me to the iArcadians. And this all started late 2020, so like December 2020, we all started formulating this plan. And in all honesty, it started in my head. It was one of my crazy creations. And I got on the phone, or not on the phone, but started talking to some people within the home arcade community that were also interested in this particular company known as iArcade. And being that I make content and they made content, I said, well, we should make a show together. And that's kind of how that all started. And we made a show, and it went really well for quite a while, and we had a lot of fun. But it was through that time that I've met some good friends that I still communicate pretty regularly with, and that includes Jeff Rainwater, Brad O'Connell, Papa Brad, and originally he went by the name CT Jason. That's how I knew him originally. but now he goes by Mr. Home Arcade, and he doesn't even make arcade content anymore. That's the hilarious thing. His CT Jason would have been almost better for but I digress. But you hear his voice at the end of all of my videos, and I've used him on some other things, especially here on the Brick Chat over time, and he has a real iconic, and distinct sounding voice. I think it's also important to give a shout out to Jong-wook Shin and Michael Slayback from iArcade, because that whole experience with the iArcadians, it allowed me to understand what it's like to have a working symbiotic relationship with a company and know what that experience is like, because it's very much helped formulate my opinions on such things, positively and negatively, about working relationships with companies since then. And that's where it started, was working with iArcade. I'd get sent games periodically for free to review and basically help sell the game, if you will. And it was fun and it was a good experience, but when you're in a situation like that, and this is where I can understand and sympathize with LAN members to a certain degree, and I see it in their face when they're making their LAN videos, that they're not super happy to be making them, but they have to because it's part of their job now. Because I've been there, done that, get the call, or I get the email on a Tuesday at 11 p.m. or something, well, we got this game coming out Friday, here, we'll send it to you, and you got to get a video up, and you're like, oh man. So now you got to push everything else away because now I got to focus in on this. And so, yeah. But it was a good time, and I enjoyed it immensely. And another shout out I want to give is to Bobby Vu to Die For. He was a fun character friend I made during that time. And certain communities are more toxic than others. And unfortunately, maybe it's gotten better since then. I don't really interact with it a whole.
How long has it been since you interacted with them?
Like on a regular basis, like in the community. It's been a while. It's been a few years since I was going to like streams and stuff regularly.
Or you were putting content on.
Yeah. Just because, but the amount of drama and toxicity that was going on was just, it was too much for me. It wasn't fun. The whole, they're sucked the fun out of all of it. That made me want to return to Lego.
And we circle back to Lego.
Yeah, and that's what brings us back. And we came back with the formation of the Brick Chat.
Yes.
And this is what is episode 80 of.
And what year did we start that?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
2022, I think.
2022.
But the Brick Chat, we've had a lot of fun doing the show, and this is kind of a continuation what we're doing here today. And if you guys enjoy it, we can do it more periodically, I suppose. Especially, if we get.
It's the first time doing a format like this.
Yeah, this is a new format.
Not live.
Right. But I'll put up a premiere, so we'll be in the chat. So it'll be the next best thing, I guess.
Right.
And I mean, I could have done it live, but the biggest reason why I didn't want to do it live is I feel wholeheartedly that it's a different algorithm on live things versus videos and shorts. Basically, there's 3 different YouTube algorithms. Because, as I've said, doing this for so long.
We talk about the algorithms a lot.
You see the ups and downs and
what works, what doesn't work.
Like I put out a clip video last week, which, if you haven't watched it, please do. It has a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, just, in just a funny condensed version.
Videos.
That video I knew wasn't going to do very well when I put it out, just because of the whole algorithm thing.
They don't know where to put it.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a different kind of a thing.
So many different types.
So I more or less content. Put that out just for myself, I guess, and then hope a few people will watch it.
Somebody
That's
might wanna
basically
watch
all
it.
that's happened with it. But if you really, it's fun. I think
It is a fun clip show. I like it. Yeah. I like
I'm
it. I
old
watched
school. That's what always would happen. A show would do a clip show episode.
it. Right.
Here's all the memories.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially like a series finale. You definitely would do one for that.
Because
this isn't a series finale.
No, this isn't the series finale. But there was nothing in that clip show that was new. Not the beginning, not the ending, nothing. It was all stock
Old stuff.
footage.
Yep.
But since we've been back, we've done some fun things here. We've done some Lego D&D. That was fun.
Still throwing things, seeing if they stick.
Still throwing things, seeing if they stick. Lego Castle Adventures. That was fun. We even did a Lego Fortnite video.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Because
Wild Wednesday with the boys.
I've tried to throw a lot of different things to see, what the viewers, you guys respond to the most, and you kind of helped guide me in the way you want the content on the channel. And so
that's what they think.
That's, if you ask me why we don't do more episodes of the Brick Chat, there is the answer. Because it seems to be that you guys want the Lego City stuff the most.
Well, display, not city.
Well, not city, but the Lego display. You want to look at the display and all that kind of stuff, which is great. That's actually some of the easier kind of content I can make. The Lego D&D adventures, Lego Castle Adventures, Lego Fortnite. Those were highly produced videos that were taxing on me. And so, because, I still get people asking me about them, and it's just like, I would love to make that kind of stuff, but, it's not that I require the return on the investment, but it's nice to feel like they're getting appreciated, that they found an audience.
Right.
And so when it's like, well, I can make a video about our Lego Lord of the Rings, and I know it's going to get solid views, or I can make Lego, Fortnite, and it might tank. Then what you gonna do? Because again, the algorithm it rules and dictates it all.
It's a beast. It dictates it all. So live streams don't go into the algorithm very well. So that's why we choose to do more videos now, is because to wrap that all up.
Right. And I'm hoping that this one will, be successful enough that we can continue to do it like this. I'm not going to say weekly or anything, but, we could throw it in the mix. Sure. But during my return to Lego, I will say that this does make me a little sad, and that is because I do have such an experience and track record with doing reviews that I feel like I'm very good at them, and it makes me a little sad that they're not more in demand in the current Lego, stratosphere.
Well, they're in demand, but the people, the land people, get it all.
And that's what leads me to my final point for the Lego section right now, and that is LAN as well. They play a huge role in dictating what kind of content we can and can't do, unfortunately. And I'm not just saying that just to sit here and complain and it's all LAN's fault. But
it's just not. It's not worth it to put so much work into something to have it not reach a lot of people, because they're not going to push it, because they're going to push the LANs.
Yeah.
Because they came out first.
Yeah. the
makes it harder.
Yeah, that's why they've absolutely destroyed reviews. When a LAN person releases a review video, it gets pushed out to all the Lego fans, all the YouTube people. And they are going to, they're not going to watch all of them, but they're going to pick one or two of those videos, and that will be the content they get on that particular set. If it's a brand new release set, for example. And so by the time that somebody like me who's not in LAN comes around and tries to do a video that it's just the juice isn't worth the squeeze at that point anymore. and it's unfortunate because it's, I feel like I'm good at it, but again, am I going to sit here and do a review like I did the last one I did was on the new Shire set,
and
it did okay, I guess, but
I don't remember the numbers.
Barrador last year did significantly better. So, it just in a year's time with basically a pretty apples to apples comparison, they're both Lord of the Rings. And, so just in 1 year, it's fallen off that much more that it's unfortunate. Like, we got a brand new set. I don't know if it's new, but it's new to us. But in the days gone by, sure, would have done a video on that. Why not? But
right. No. Yeah, I think I did do one for Bell's Castle, but I mean, I don't even know how many people watched it. I don't think it
did okay enough. Okay. I mean, but not right. And that was a brand new set.
Brand new.
Yeah. Both of these brand new, fresh off the shelves, doing it old school YouTube style where we get the set, get it built, get the video up.
The only difference is we didn't go to the store. We did wait for shipping through Lego.
But they ship out. We usually get them pretty stinking quick.
They do, but that's just the only difference.
Yeah.
Because we did used to go to the store to get it and hurry up and build it and then do the review and try to get it out. We did used to do that,
but I completely understand why people get into LAN. Because like I said, I mean, it's an attractive thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, free Lego.
And you know the videos are going to do better than the people that aren't in LAN and this is really besides the reviews, my biggest problem with LAN is that they're guiding the Lego YouTube community. Like everybody's following LAN, where it's just like, so to the point it almost doesn't even feel like YouTube anymore, because YouTube used to mean you do whatever you want to do. Or now it's no, you got to follow them, do what they are doing if you want to have success. And
they've curbed the market.
Yeah. So the only way that I've found on the Lego side of things for us to, feel like the channel is still doing well and growing is to go back to basics, and we're going to look at this stuff again. We're going to look at it again. And if I
go back to the Lego,
because I feel like at the end of the day, our Lego display, that's the biggest thing that we offer to the Lego community that is uniquely us.
Right.
And it seems like even more so as the community evolves and changes, like we're constantly talking about, it seems like they're all about shelf people now. It's all about putting sets on shelves.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with putting sets on shelves, I mean, I get it, but, for display people that are building Lego worlds and cities and stuff, we seem to be actually on the decline from what I feel, where the shelf people is growing shelf cities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that makes me a little sad in one hand,
right?
But at the same time, it also makes me say, well, our thing is becoming more and more unique, rare. If everybody keeps going to shelf cities, you got shelf cities are going to become a dime a dozen the more you guys keep going that way.
Yeah.
But so I guess go for it.
Maybe you should delete that part. No.
No. And so now we're going to come back to, I decided to create a second channel, and originally was called MJP Games and Movies, but I've since changed it to MJP Games and More. And what's interesting about that channel is that's really become what Mikey J Productions was originally. The Mikey J Productions now is the Lego channel.
Yeah.
MJP Games and More is really OG Mikey J Productions.
Right, where you started.
Yeah.
Music, games, and more.
Yeah, and more. Whatever comes to mind.
Arcades, any kind of.
You've played Hogwarts Legacy on there. I've done a lot of NBA 2K content. We've had WWE content on there.
Fortnite content.
Red Dead. So, if you're into gaming and stuff, we've done a lot of stuff like that over there. And this brings me to, believe it or not, my absolute favorite YouTube moment to date. And because I've been on a few interesting shows, over the years. I'll name drop some. I've been on London Calling. We did a stream on Sai's channel on
that was our first one.
Sai O'Connor. Mm-hmm. We did his stream, and she was Lego Danny Bob then. But now she's just Danny Bob. So we have actually streamed with Danny Bob once upon a time before she was super famous. But and then we've been on Hive Show, Good Morning Brick World. Yeah. And then in the arcade community, I've been on P-Dub's Arcade Loft and a few different things like that. But my absolute favorite stream that I ever partook in, that even counting my own, was on Steps Gaming. I did an interview with her and Papa Brad, and we interviewed, there was two guys that did Pac-Man Fever, and we interviewed one of them. And he talked about being on American Bandstand and meeting Dick Clark, and just me as a music aficionado like I am, to be able to sit there and talk music with somebody that's actually done it and stuff. That was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed that, to the point that, I wish I could do more of that. Like, I've even told her on MJP, because I've gotten back into more music stuff, which we'll get into that in a little bit. But I said, as much as I would love to interview Axl Rose or somebody like that, I know that that's never gonna happen. But it's like, there's lower hanging fruit out there.
I could find somebody.
I could go find somebody to talk to me. I said, I'd love to get Stephen Pierce, the lead singer from Rat. I would interview him in a heartbeat. I see all sorts of people talking to him. But anyways, that episode on Steps Gaming, I'll put some of it here in the video. That's still my high water mark. I really enjoyed that a lot. But also on the channel, I've done some NECA stuff, and and it was nice to do some kind of reviews over there that were not Lego reviews, but just reminding me of how good I am at really doing reviews. And it's like, it's kind of a shame. I wish I could do more of them, but the only people that really reach out to me are knockoff or alternative, I should say, brick companies.
Oh, that's what they call them now.
Yeah, I get reached out to alternative brick companies fairly regularly.
Yeah.
Literally just had one the other day. And so that brings me to Guns N' Roses Part 2. And again, I never intended it for it to happen this way. I made a video because it was Blinding Turks.
Oh, yes.
Blinding Turks started it all. And what was Blinding Lights by The Weeknd and Young Turks by Rod Stewart. How it all came to be is, even though I listen to a lot of music, I'll be the first to tell you I don't listen to modern pop music.
No.
So a lot of it it escaped me. It's passed me by. But so we play a lot of Fortnite, and I kept hearing Blinding Lights in there.
Well, because I had an emo from Blinding Lights. So when I would do my emo, it plays the song. And so he would hear it all the time.
And we have the radio on in our house a lot. And And Young Turks by Rod Stewart came on, and I'm like, this song's in Fortnite. Like
Rod Stewart's in Fortnite.
Rod Stewart's in Fortnite, and we went back and forth on it. And I'm like, I know it's that song.
It's Rod Stewart. I thought that too. Whenever I heard it, I'm like, man, this is the same song in my Fortnite dance. But we looked it up and we did our investigation, and it turns out it wasn't.
There are two separate songs, but they sounded so close alike that I was like, well, gosh darn it, I'm gonna mash these up. And so I made a music video, first music video I've made since them Guns N' Roses ones way long time ago. And I just, did it because it was just scratching in my head, like, right, this needs to happen.
They have to be together.
And then, but when I was making it, I told Mrs. Mikey J, I was like, well, I can't just release one music video. That just feels kind of weird. So I went back to my old Guns N' Roses videos, because what happened with those originally was it was around the time of the Guns N' Roses reunion, maybe right after they got back together, and it didn't just affect me; it affected a lot of people. They copyright striked a whole bunch of people.
They struck them all down.
Yeah, and they gave me 2 copyright strikes, one for Sympathy for the Devil and another one for Bring It Back Home. Now, Bring It Back Home is an unreleased song, even though I'm sure it's probably on YouTube somewhere. I was like, all right. I was a little sad about Sympathy for the Devil, just because, like I said, that's still my biggest video to date. And they robbed me of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when they did that, because at that point I was already well into the Lego stuff, so I'm like, Mikey J Productions was no longer that Guns N' Roses channel. We were
getting strikes for it.
But we're getting strikes, so I said, oh no. So at that point, I took everything off on Mikey J Productions that had a copyright anything on it, and deleted it all. And that's why, if you look at it, you won't see these earlier videos on this channel anymore, and that's intentional. But when I was starting my second channel, MJP, I knew I wanted to put a lot of that stuff on there. And that's after we did the Blinding Turks video, I said, okay, because it was really good. I really was excited about it a lot, and it did rather well. Not as well as some of the ones that followed, but it did rather well. But I followed it with that original Sympathy for the Devil video, just because I felt like I needed a second music video, and originally it was probably just going to be those 2. Actually no, there was a third. There was a Godzilla one I did way back when as well, and it was probably just going to be those 3 that I put up there just as a stopgap thing. Well, when I put the Sympathy for the Devil video up again, which I did modify it a little bit over the original one, just to remaster. That's how I viewed it. I remastered it. Again, it started going crazy, and I'm just like, I remember looking at it, and I'm just like, this video's gold. It doesn't matter. You can have a channel with 0 subscribers. Put this video on it, you'll get subscribers.
Well, it shows the market was hungry. For that.
The market was hungry for that, and so then right away, my whole thought process changed, and I said, whoa. And so then I started doing some more Guns N' Roses music videos, did Civil War, Coma, Knocking on Heaven's Door, and they all just started going crazy to the point that might have been the craziest stretch of my entire YouTube career. It was either what just happened on MJP or 2015, about 18 on Mikey J Productions. I don't know for sure, but those were the 2 biggest jumps.
Fastest growing.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, shoot.
Feed the
wolf. And so I just started putting out more and more, mostly Guns N' Roses music videos. I've done some other ones in there as well.
Well, we did have some other mashups that rang in our head that we had to get out.
Yeah.
We
had Jungle Funk, which that was Jungle Love and Uptown Funk. That was a fun one.
That one was a real fun one.
And then we had Hey Apata.
Yeah, Hey Apata.
That one.
And Hey Mickey.
Yeah, it was Hey Mickey. Yeah.
So Hey Mickey and just Apata, right?
I think that's what because that was another one. I remember she was like, I was just sitting on the couch and she came up to me. She was like, listen to this song here. This new Bruno Mars song. I'm listening to it. And I'm like, that's Hey Mickey. Like it literally took me like 5 seconds. I'm like, that's Hey Mickey.
And once you get the earworm for it, it's like you gotta make it happen. Especially if you have the ability.
Right. So the MJP's kind of become very music related as of right now. And I've actually put all gaming and everything on the back burner there. And again, because that's what the algorithm is leading me to and telling me what to do. But I will say this about the algorithm and this, just a warning for all those people out there. Because I did get that channel over, because there's 2 monetization levels. The first one, you can get members and receive super chats. But you don't get any ad revenue. So I've crossed that one, and I'm almost crossed the ad revenue one. For that one, you need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. And most people struggle with the watch hours, but there's means and ways to get subscribers legitimately or illegitimately. I'm backwards like normal. I have the watch hours. I already have the 4,000 watch hours. But now I need to get the subscribers. I am not quite to 800 yet. Got to get to 1,000. So if you guys have made it this far, please make sure you subscribe to that channel and help me out. Because I do plan on getting back to more gaming and stuff on that channel, but it just because of these Guns N' Roses videos, I've had to focus in on it because the channel took off so quick that I feel like I've almost been gifted 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah.
And I have a year before they expire
to get the subscription.
To get the subscriptions to get the channel monetized. So much so that Mikey J Productions, I've even had to put on the back burner a little bit and focusing on that one a little bit more, just because I'm like, I got to grind it out. But don't worry, everything's still here. She's come in handy a few weeks. I'm like, honey, you got anything?
Can you do anything? I'm like, yeah, I got stuff. I got backlog to build. I can do something. I can always do something on something.
But as for the future goes, I expect more of the same here on this channel. I'm not expecting any major changes here. Like I said,
this will be Lego.
This is going to be Lego here, and will remain Lego. And I don't let land deter me or anything else. Just keep on trucking along and doing what we do.
Yeah.
And
we got lots of things in the works. We still have, the Shire. I gotta get the new Shire put in and try and make a new ramp. And then my Hogwarts behind me. I got lots of stuff to do in there. I've got to. I'm hopefully I've got ideas swimming in my head of my great tower, because I didn't get the grand tower, the new one that just came out. I didn't get it, but I saw it and I looked at it and I'm like, I can do something like that. So I got some ideas swimming around, and I liked all the new stuff that came with it, but I just don't need it. That's just something I didn't need. I did buy the Great Hall, but that's only because of the basement part of it. Yeah. I only, it's the same Great Hall, my Great Hall, but I used the Rock Mountain part. I changed that so then I could use the rest for other mountainous areas of my Hogwarts. So yeah, we got lots of stuff still coming. I mean, we got mocks up the wazoo.
And what's funny is that, you were just telling me yesterday that, because it's, summer is upon us and we're
Yes.
getting ready to go on vacation. And while still expect the weekly Lego video, I still make that happen for
Right.
everybody. There's not going to be a lot of forward movement during the summer months. There never really is. It's just more of a, keep on keeping on kind of a thing. Where more of the bigger movements on the channel happen during the colder months. But she was saying, tell them what you said.
Yeah, I said I have all these ideas of all these Lego things I want to do, but here comes the summer and now I can't do them. But then all winter long, I think, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff I want to do in the summer, and so it's like I'm on absences. I'm thinking about winter when it's summer, and I'm thinking about summer when it's winter.
Yeah, she was literally on her phone like crazy
was.
yesterday, and she's working on this mock. Already got it planned.
I
in her head.
was planning
just
the
like,
whole thing.
You realize we're leaving in a couple of days,
I
right?
can't even touch it. No, I'm not getting into it. I can't. So yeah, I know, but it's because the set came out, and I wanted to see the new tower and how they did it, and what kind of ideas I could do with it. So the set just came out. I hadn't seen it. I got into the instructions because they have the Lego Builder app and stuff. So I got in there and looked through all the little pieces and how they did everything. So I was like, I've got some parts. I got some pieces. Because I don't have I have the gift with purchase.
Stairs,
yeah. Right. So I've got to learn. I've got to mock that into, which the new set helps with that. It helps me visualize it because they've got the same type of mechanism as the gift with purchase. Because why would you redesign it? I mean, that's just silly. So, but yeah, it definitely went swimming in my head before. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go swimming in real life.
But we will keep all the themes that we've been covering, and we'll continue, as well as the Disney World. That's been a new thing. Look forward to a video next week on that. She's done some little bit of things there.
Yeah.
So nothing major, but
nothing big, just some new stuff.
Just a little bit. That pretty much wraps up our 15-year journey. But I have to give shout outs to people that have really played an integral role in the channel's growth over the years. They've been a big part of it. We'll start with David Emperor. He's one of my longtime fans and subscribers, and I salute you, sir. Goon Troll Leader Todd, he's still been a long time member of the channel, longest serving member, I believe.
I think so. Todd's cool, man.
Todd's cool, man. And then we have Brickapix. She is also a long-serving member of the channel. We love Brickapix.
Yes, we do.
We're actually Facebook friends with her. Been seeing some of her journeys in Florida and stuff of recently. She seems to have gotten out of the Lego content creation game, but she's a good one. And then Mr. Blue, Nate.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Mr. Blue, thank you.
Salute you, sir. You're my boy, Blue. And then Gordon Werner, you have been awesome, sir, on the Discord. Keep it up.
Thank you so much.
You are my news source, man. You're my inside source. And we have King Oldorf. We've done a lot of things with him over the years. He's a real good guy. Love King Oldorf.
Yep, good part of the channel.
Mayo Hosco, I've done some collaborating with him, been on his streams many a times, and he's always got great insights and suggestions and stuff. So Mayo Hosco.
Thank you.
Amberlia Builds, she was a member for quite a long time on the channel as well. So thank you, Amberlia. Miss Amby also was a member of the channel for quite a long time.
Thank you, Miss Amby. Thank you so much.
King of Stop Motion. He set up the Discord server. I didn't even know what I was doing. He got it all set up for me. And
had to bring in a young buck.
Yeah, young buck. Just graduated high school.
Yes, congratulations.
And then we also have to mention Hugh.
Yes,
He's
Hugh.
been a member of the channel for quite some time,
Thank you,
on
Hugh.
and off. But
Thank
you, Hugh. And if I've forgotten anybody, I apologize. I really tried to, rack my brain and see what names came out the first and foremost. So those are the ones, everybody.
Special shout out to Mrs. Mikey J Productions. She is the executive producer around here. She gets final say on all my music videos, final cuts, and she helps make the channel go round.
But that is our video for you guys today. Thanks everybody for watching. Please
like, comment, and subscribe.
I will be seeing you in the next one. Take care, everybody.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, we got merch store. If you want to take a little piece of the show with you, you can get it right here. We got everything. You want some Mikey J stuff? We got the Mikey J Productions for you. So take a chance and stop by. We'll take care of you.